He works with Deloitte. It's been 2 years since he's been working for Deloitte now. He's a data analytics consultant. He's also UTM graduate. He graduated from UTM in 2017, and he was also on the MSA for 2 years. So today we have this workshop. It's part of the series. Today we have this. Tomorrow we have a LinkedIn photo shoot. If you are interested in the LinkedIn photo shoot, you can go on the MSA page on the link tree, and you can book a slot if you're interested, inshallah. So we have these two. These are the first two parts of the series. The third part of the series is that there's a career fair on Wednesday. So you can bring your resumes, print them out, inshallah. You'll be at a competitive advantage if you print them out. Bring them with you. We want to help the Muslim community get resumes together. And we want to make the community have strong resumes. So not a lot of people print out their resumes. So if you do go to a career fair, inshallah, make sure you print out your resumes. If you don't have a resume, that's what we're here for today. We're here to help you make one, inshallah. So you'll be asking, why are we doing this as an MSA? We're doing this because there's two main reasons. First of all, we want to support the Ummah. As a deen, we have to support the deen. We have to be strong as a Muslim community. We have to become people of influence, people of strength, and we have to strive for success in the dunya and in the akhirah. So attend the workshop with this intention for striving in the dunya, for striving in the akhirah, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the day. To improve yourself professionally for the sake of the deen, the ummah, to become a person who can cause change in society. When you do that, so this resume, so building your resume is a step towards that. The step to, so you get your job, inshallah. The next reason is that we need to strive for risk. Of course, risk is written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it's up. We have to strive for it because it's like it's a means of help. It's a means of helping the Muslim community, inshallah. Anyways, that's basically the two reasons that I want to go over, and I'll pass it on to Muhammad, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. I don't think can you all hear me fine? Okay. You want to come forward? Small audience, so might as well just sit together. Yeah. So assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad. Like the other Muhammad said, I did graduate from UTM, and it was very tough for me when I graduated. I don't want to knock off the university's career center, but back then they didn't do a great job of giving us good resume templates. So what I did with some of my friends is we studied finance in UTM. So we went to Queen's University's website. And Queen's University, if you don't know a lot about Queen's University, should I speak into the mic because of Zoom or?
No, just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah. So Queen's University, they're very well known for their students. They go to case competitions, they win case competitions. Companies don't come to UTM because Mississauga is too far for them. Like most companies in downtown don't come to UTM because Mississauga is too far. But they send buses of recruiters all the way to Queens in Kingston. And there's a reason they do this, because they give them very good prep. So we found their resume booklets. The students publish it. The top 10 students publish their resumes in the finance club every year just to show it off to companies. So we got a lot of their resume templates, and this is how we started learning. We did this ourselves. So inshallah, what I'm going to give you at the end of the session is some of these templates that you can then use, and I'll also explain why these resumes work. Okay. Really quickly about myself. I do work in consulting. I do mentor a lot of students. So if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Share again, please.
Sure. But only if they're like 2-minute questions I want to say. If you are looking for like a 30-minute or 1-hour session, I can refer you to one of my friends who does this as a business as well. I also helped with recruiting in Deloitte. I looked at dozens of student resumes. So if I am talking out of experience as well from the industry side. All right. So the biggest two issues that I find that students have is that they don't have really good expectations when they apply. Like, why am I applying? What are recruiters looking for? What do I need to show them? The second big issue is that they don't have focused communication skills. What exactly do I need to say in my resume? How long should my resume be? Should I put my volunteer experience? Should I put my work experience only? What about this project I did back in high school? You know, it all depends on what's relevant. Really, when you're applying, it depends on what's relevant. And I'll walk you through that. At the end of the session, I'll also provide a QR code. If you have to leave early, just check the recording. I have everything that I am going to say today, inshallah, and more in a application PDF, application guide PDF. So you can read that guide and, you know, at your own time. It's around a 30-minute read. I'll also give you a student resume template, a recent grad resume template. That's inshallah, when you graduate, you have an idea also of what you can use, and an Excel file with an ATS macro. And I'll explain what that is. All right. Applying to jobs nowadays isn't as simple as it was 20 years ago. You need to have an awareness of what recruiters do nowadays for you to actually get a leg up. Any questions so far? Hands? Okay. Sounds good. All right. So I have some facts to make this easier for you. On average, each corporate job opening attracts 250 resumes. Of these resumes, only a handful are going to be selected for an interview, and only one will be offered the job. This is the environment. Why am I saying this? I'm not trying to put you down. I'm saying this to give you realistic expectations. This is one of my 2 goals today. Make sure you understand what's happening so you understand how much effort to put in. The risk is from Allah at the end of the day, but we got to work for it. All right. So on average, each job attracts 250 resumes. So before I go to, actually, I went to the next slide. It's too late. Because they attract 250 resumes, applying to a job is a little bit like getting married, right? You get a few offers, but it's only the best candidate that gets the job. It's only the best person who goes, you know, and who's referred to that person through word of mouth, through I know a friend, through whatever. It's only after a few initial information dates or you know, you're going to the parents' house that you get to know the candidates. It's only after proper application vetting that they then say, okay, maybe we'll look into this offer. Maybe we'll look into this proposal. And it's only after a thorough vetting process or interrogation, which is what happened with my in-laws. My father-in-law literally sat me down, interrogated me for 2 hours. Is after after that I only got the job offer, alhamdulillah. Okay, so what I really want to say with this is that it's a long process. Don't expect it to happen like this unless you're applying for like an entry-level customer service job. If you're applying to a corporate job or even to a master's degree, master's degrees, they still want their students to be really good and really qualified for the position. So they will put you through this process. Okay. I don't know if you can see any other similarities between getting married and applying to a job. Yeah.
There's a hearing that they know that the evidence is right. So that's the informational interview part, right?
Yeah.
They're referred by probably the Crown or whatever the heck we did or allegedly didn't do.
Mhm.
The actual hearing. Then there's a sentence, you know, agreeing how long you might be potentially work and then actually seeing whether you're qualified or, you know, worthy of that.
Yeah, I didn't look at that before, but yeah, there's a negotiation in that as well. What else do you see? Yeah,
Most people don't even get to the first.
which is referral. Yeah, referral is pretty important. Yeah, try to always get referrals, and there's some other things that I have also in the presentation. But you know, you have to be like the best dressed for the job. You know, if you're a guy, you know, put on a nice suit. If you're a lady, you know, put on a nice outfit. You know, these things do matter. Don't just go, you know, and with your sweats or whatever it is. If you have a career fair on Wednesday, you know, try to stand out. Don't go I even have a friend who goes all crazy. It's not for me, but he puts on a 3-piece suit and goes to these things. You know, the recruiters themselves, they're just like me. You know, they have a sweater on and that's it. So a guy walking up to the 3-piece suit sticks in their mind. I'm not saying do that. Stick to your brand. At the end of the day, you don't want to apply to the wrong job because it's like a marriage. You know, if you go to a certain girl or a guy comes to you dressed in a certain way, it's like, yo, this person isn't for me. They're just too fancy or they're too uptight. Or they think they're going to like Denny's for breakfast. This is we're getting married here, Yeah.
Say, like, if someone especially if the hijabi one, can you just get like blocked from that nice impression straight at the door? Because, for example, if someone's like, where's jubad? You wear a really nice jubad, your employer is still gonna be like, well, you're not really wearing a blazer, you're not really wearing like, the typical nice office outfit. So aren't we already starting with it?
Yes and no. Maybe if this was 30 years ago, but nowadays they're putting in a lot of effort into recruiting hijabis, recruiting those BIPOC / minorities, because it makes them look good. It's not because they care most of the time, it's because it makes them look good. So they are open to them. It just depends on the recruiter you get. Okay. Or the hiring manager you get. Same thing with me. I applied to a job after university here, and there's a financial analyst job, and in the emails, like, we have a strict shave policy at work. I was like, I'm not shaving my beard for this job, right? So I emailed them, and I was like, this is inappropriate. Like, it's not like a hospital job where you need to clean shave to put on a mask. I'm like, this is an office job, and you need some religious accommodation. Not even Muslim Sikhs, they need beards too. So I told him straight up in the email, not to his face, but in the email. But yeah, so don't worry about the hijab thing. Like, Canada is very, very diverse. Okay, very diverse. So don't worry about the hijab. Okay. All right. Fact number 2: 70% of job applicants get disqualified by something called ATS. So without even being read, your resume, you send it in, 70% of the time it gets filtered out. All right. And this is really important to tailor your resume to the type of job. ATS, what it is when a recruiter gets resumes for a job description, instead of reading all the 250 resumes, which is a lot of work, what they do is they put it through the system called ATS, Applicant Tracking System. And what the system does is it compares each resume with the job description. If there's an 80% match, maybe the resume passes. If there's a 90% match, yeah, the resume goes on and the recruiter actually takes a look at the resume. But if it doesn't pass through the ATS, it doesn't get looked at. So you can be applying 1,000 jobs, you won't even get an interview if your resume doesn't match with the job description. So does anyone want to guess how they actually match the job description with the resume? Like, what do they look for?
They search for keywords.
Keywords, exactly. Job description says keywords like Tableau, Power BI, SQL, data analysis, project management. You better have those keywords in your resume. Okay. Don't want to scare you. Again, setting expectations. This way you know how the system works. And this is how it works for almost every single job except for like customer service jobs, because the bar isn't that high. Not that customer service isn't important, but just setting your expectations for a corporate job, inshallah. Fact number 3: almost all the companies use ATS. Okay, so just a heads up. All right. Another fact I want to mention: 250 jobs, 250 applicants apply to a job. 70% of those resumes get filtered out. Of the remaining resume, you think the recruiter will actually read them? No, they don't. They spend an average of 6 or 7 seconds on each resume. So if you don't catch their attention, your resume, even though you pass the ATS, it doesn't actually go anywhere. So my advice really is to focus on quality, but also quantity. It's a numbers game, right? These recruiters, they get flooded with proposals, marriage proposals, like nobody's business. Okay, they get 250 applying, like they are feeling themselves. All right, they have all the power. They put them through a filtering system. 70% get thrown out. The 30% that's left, they're like, you know what? I'll just spend 6 or 7 seconds on each resume. They might not even read them all. Okay. So how do we beat the system? How do we do our resumes in a good way so that it passes the ATS. And when a recruiter looks at it for 6 seconds, they're like, this person's resume catches my eye. What's your name? Yeah. Osman's resume catches my eye. Okay. So how do we get Osman through the door? So there are a few strategies. Number 1 is storytelling. Number 2 is shotgun approach. And number 3 is networking. Those are the 3 main strategies that I'll talk with you today. And those 3 strategies you apply when you're sending your resume to the job. Storytelling, you can actually apply in everything. When you're writing a resume, you need to have storytelling skills. You need to be able to know how to impress the person and how to catch their attention for more than 6 seconds. But you also need to use storytelling for interviews. When you sit down with a person, you need to know how to casually have a conversation with them. You don't want to keep an uptight decorum and try to walk them through your skills and experience. You need to make a connection with this person because this is how relationships develop. And so I'll talk about all of those 3, and I have fun stories for each of them, so it's not going to be very boring, inshallah, for the next 30 minutes or so. All right. So Osman, I'll pick on you for the next bit. You are you married? No, not yet. All right. Favorite topic for MSA, unfortunately. Okay. So you go to a girl, you want her to know 3 things about you. What do you want her to know?
About me?
Yeah.
Or is it about her?
No, it's about you. You want to tell her 3 things about you.
I think first you need to get to know the person or just have a short conversation maybe.
Okay.
And from what answers you get from her, then you can dive conversation further. But
Okay, that's very sneaky. You're waiting for her to tell you what she likes so you can tell her.
because I can't straight away.
Okay,
I don't have the things in mind.
no worries, no worries. Let me tell you this then. Okay, I'll switch it back to the job. All right, so you're applying to a job at Pizza Hut, right? You're working as the cashier. What are the 3 qualities you want to tell them?
Firstly, I think for cashier, maybe communication.
Okay,
So because you're on the daily, you're gonna be dealing with customers.
yeah,
You can point out some of the strengths maybe you have in terms of communication skills.
yeah. What's another skill?
Sorry,
What's another skill?
another skill would be, I guess, management.
Okay,
Because I guess as a cashier, you're managing a lot of the items
all right.
you have. So time management maybe.
And what's a 3rd skill?
Third skill would be, so we have communication management. Being, I guess, consistent. I don't think consistency applies, but for this, maybe just punctuality.
Punctuality.
Yeah.
Very basic. All right. What do you study at the university?
Computer,
Did they need to know that you're a coder?
for cashier.
Yeah.
Um,
No, you don't need to put it. Are you part of the MSA?
Sometimes I attend some.
Okay. What else do you do on the side outside of coding?
Football.
Do they need to know you play football? No. Okay. So really, when it comes to storytelling, you got to be concise. They spend very little time on your resume. You don't need to tell them your life story. Usman might be overqualified if he applies for a pizza, or a cashier job, right? He knows Python, he knows R, he knows different software techniques. He played on different football teams or whatever it is. He doesn't need to tell them all that. And if he tells them all that, they're going to throw his resume in the bin. They don't need to know this. All they need to know is like what he said. We need a person who's just good time management skills, good with numbers, and is going to show up on time because that's what the job needs. So other storytelling techniques I want to also say is are these over here. So build it with purpose, number 1. And this is the most important one that most people get lost in. What job are you applying to? Pick a single job category and try to stick with it. Make only one resume for this job. If you're graduating, and you're looking for a software job, only apply to a specific software job. I want to be a quality analyst. Okay. I make my resume for this quality analyst job and I only have this one resume. I don't need to make 200 resumes, one for quality analyst, one for software engineering, one for cloud engineering. It's going to be too messy. So build your resume with purpose from the start. What it is that I'm looking for, what it is they're looking for, and build your job experience, select your job experience based on these things. Number two, keep it simple. They're spending 6 or 7 seconds on your resume. They don't need to see that you do all these crazy hobbies. Maybe one crazy hobby is good, might connect with them, but they don't need to see all of them. They don't need to see 7 or 8 years of volunteer experience. Only pick the best experience that you want to show them. Use numbers. The reason why you use numbers is because it tells a more interesting story. If I tell you, I screened resumes last summer, you're like, okay, that's cool. But if I tell you I screened 30 resumes last summer over a 2-week period, you can visualize it more. It's part of storytelling. It helps you connect with the audience. The second reason is because usually recruiters can tell when people are lying or not, right? If they're not using any numbers, if they're not using any specific facts, they're like, this person is just trying to get through the door. Tip number 4, no funny business. What I mean by funny business, I reviewed around 60 resumes over the last 5 years for students. Students do everything. I had like big pictures of students in their resume. I've had different colored fonts, resumes split down the middle, 3-page resumes. I don't know, like the standard is 1 page, and I'll go over that, but 2-page maybe. If you're applying to something specific, but 3 pages, no one's going to read 3 pages. Different bolding styles, underline styles. Keep it simple. The reason why I say keep it simple, black and white resume, maybe some navy blue if you want to like point something out, is because these recruiters see 50 resumes a day. They know what format they want. They just want to see the person's experience. They don't want to look for this person's experience. They don't want to do a scavenger hunt and try to find where your education experience is. They just want to know what it is. Unless you're applying to a design job, but I don't think any of you are design students. Okay. Tip number 5, a picture is worth 1,000 words. All right. What do you think that means? Yeah, in a resume. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Yeah.
Or like you want to illustrate what that experience accomplished. So it's like, for example, in the cashier thing, he was describing skill with numbers or like ability to manage multitask, right?
Yeah.
Then I wouldn't just go like, yo, I multitasked in like this volunteer experience. It would be like, I worked with my team on multiple projects,
Yeah.
2-week timeline, and I got those separate deadlines done in this month, and this is what was accomplished. So now it's not just you multitask, it's, oh, this person did all of that in this sentence. So it's like, that's a picture of their head.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah. And that's really good. Definitely do what she's saying. What's your name, Sarah? Sarah. Definitely do what Sarah's saying. Really good approach, but not what I mean by this point. Yeah, I don't advise doing that. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that too. There's a whole issue with resume bias, and there's some companies working on it, like Naukri in downtown. But yeah, what else is another interpretation for a picture is worth 1,000 words in a resume? No one gets this. Maybe I make it too hard. Okay. So you're applying, you're using a standard resume. It's all text, but at the same time, people love pictures. So how can you put pictures in a resume when you can't put a picture? I'll give you another shot. Okay.
Are you talking about the actual like visual layout or like spread of the
No.
resume?
Oh, sorry. You had your hand up?
Yeah, you describe something you did really quickly.
No, but you must be a poet. But yeah, I don't have good experience with that. Yeah. All right. Yeah. You?
Icons, maybe new stuff.
No. All right. The best way to really also captivate the recruiter is putting portfolio links. Okay. So what are portfolio links? You did a volunteer project. Sorry. You did a volunteer project. You know, you did a retreat. You can put a little link next to your volunteer experience, your project experience. When a recruiter clicks on it, they go to your Google Drive or whatever, and they see pictures of the retreat. You know, you did a project based on Python or whatever programs you use this month. You put a link, it takes them to your GitHub profile where they can see that project and other projects as well, right? Recruiters love this stuff because they need to be familiar with what candidates are doing, and you give them pictures is you're giving them real work that you've done. Also, it beats looking at a page full of words all day long. Them going to look at your portfolio is like you looking at Instagram reels during class. All right, it's the same thing for them. They'll love wasting their next 5 minutes, even though they would have looked at your resume for 6 or 7 seconds. Okay, did you
Because I feel skeptical that they actually click on it.
Yeah, so not all of them will, but some of them will for sure.
And will they like,
Yeah, so when I applied to my current job in Deloitte, I advise everybody, make one resume, and I'll mention this in the shotgun approach, and then send that resume to everyone. Don't change the resume after you make it, unless it's your dream job. Alhamdulillah, this was my dream job. So for this resume, they asked for X, Y, and Z. I made a portfolio for each one of these platforms that they were looking for. I made a Power BI portfolio, put a link. Tableau portfolio, did a link. Other design portfolio, and I put like my other design work that I did for them. So alhamdulillah, I feel like that really made me stand apart because at the top of my resume, it's like, whoa, this guy has 3 portfolios. You know, let's look into them. Yeah.
what are you overdoing?
Sorry?
Is there, when do you do your overdoing it?
That's a good question. Maybe try to put like 3 or 4 links max. Maybe put like one standard portfolio link, like this is my GitHub portfolio. This is my LinkedIn profile. And if you want to call out like a project or 2, you can maybe put a link for them. But you don't want to do everything hyperlinked. Yeah.
Where would you put it? Like, would you put it in, for example, if this is the job that they like where they want to see, for example, say writing samples or whatever, then would you put that in like your academic, like the academic portion? Like,
I'll walk you through the resumes, the templates. Yeah, for sure. So this is a game I like playing with students. Okay. This is the 12-second resume challenge. So I want you to be my recruiters, and I'll show you some of the student resumes that I critiqued in the last couple of years. Instead of giving you 6 seconds to look at them, which is what recruiters do, I'll give you 12 seconds. Okay. At the end of the 12 seconds, I'll get my timer out. I want you to tell me anything you've learned about this person. All right. So I'll show your resume on the screen. You have 12 seconds to read as much as you can of it, which is twice the amount of time recruiters actually look at your resume, and tell me what you understood. Sounds good? Everybody's clear on the game? All gonna play? All right, awesome. All right, go. All right, time's up. What did you learn?
this person apparently has self-directed work. No, playing self-directed work, I think.
Okay,
Um,
just one fact.
this one.
Yeah, Waterloo. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. All right, project manager for co-op placement. Lots of experience at various places. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. Okay. So we got, after 12 seconds from looking at this resume, we got project manager, lots of experience at various places. He did something at the University of Waterloo, and he did a co-op. Okay. Let's go back to the resume. So that's not a bad start. But he definitely could highlight more things and more relevant things. And one of the issues with this resume is it's cut down the middle. So you don't know where to start. You probably took like 2 or 3 seconds trying to be like, oh, which side do I read from? Right? All right, let's do another resume. Is this big enough, or do you want me to zoom in, by the way? Zoom in? Okay, let me see how I can do this. Better or more? Okay. Let me zoom out once a bit. Okay. Let me start my timer. Oh. All right, 12 seconds starting now. All right. What did we learn?
Python data visualization.
Okay, good start. Yeah. TA. Okay.
I mean, it was just much easier to read it because it was like this instead of being like this.
All right. So you like the format? Didn't turn you off? Okay. Yeah. Second place winner at FinTech. Does that sound good? Yeah. Use numbers. All right. Yeah. Fourth year finance. All right. I know this who this person is. You know, they're a student. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah. So this person did a really good job because, again, simple resume template. First line, you know, they're a fourth year student, tells you everything, right? Python, data visualization, great skills. Second line, they chose to mention they know Thai and English. I don't think that's the best thing to, like, the second point to say to a recruiter. You know, like, you want to mention other things, like maybe that you got second place at a FinTech competition. I would have put this at the top, right? This is something that's really good to highlight. You know, good job experience, all of this stuff. You can, you know, probably call this person for an interview. All right. Let me start my timer again. All right, go. Five seconds. 2, 1. All right. What can you tell me about this person? Yeah.
Lawyer with immigration experience.
Okay, that's good. We know who they are. Yeah.
He already has familiarity with experts, so that, you know, that's why they have this.
That's good. Anyone else? Come on, you're either not playing the game or. Yeah.
So lawyer said like, yeah, I think you work with like businesses for like analyzing stuff and like giving suggestions of like show that. You know, integrates well, it like gives output, I guess.
Yeah.
The case study is also relevant to the profession, like, I believe it's a communication and families, so it's like, for example, this was a family law position or at a firm, that it's like, this person not only has experience work of like auditing and file work, but they also probably understand already how to interact with clients.
100%. Did you read this person past the bar? It's hiding in a big paragraph at the beginning. Was it a little bit harder to read? It was bigger font, but a third of the page is taken up by this. They have their name over here. They made a nice logo for themselves, and they have their contact info. I don't know if that was a best use of space. And yeah, and they have really good job experience, but it's all like hiding at the bottom of the resume. If you have 6 seconds, you're not going to scroll through the entire resume. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. Usually they do want to have an idea when you're graduating, because some people, most other universities, if they have co-ops, they do like 5-year, 6-year programs, yada, yada. Yeah, I know UTM, everybody does like a 4-year program. All right. Faiz came back from class with pizza. I don't know if which class did you go to?
I just went to get a pizza.
Oh, you just wanted to get pizza? Okay. All right. So all right, start the timer. Oh, this is a 2-page resume, by the way. So I'm gonna walk you through all 2 pages for fun. All right. This is how a recruiter would have probably looked at it. What did you understand? Yeah,
SQL Python experience.
okay. Yeah,
I saw lots of programs that,
yeah.
on like, what is that?
Coding language, okay. Yeah, in the back. Okay. Was that your point too?
Yeah.
Okay,
Lots of ad hoc is good, but this person really likes the word ad hoc. I think I thought at least 3 times.
yeah. Yeah,
One of the job ones, he described something where something access of an amount of money.
okay.
So it's a good use of numbers on this.
Yeah. So what are you guys here for the resume workshop? Okay, yeah, grab a seat. All right, yeah.
One thing is that there's a lot of text and a lot of small text, so just like, you have to strain your eyes to like make out stuff.
Yeah, so many issues with this resume. Like I saw this this person. I'm like, bro, you're overqualified for half the jobs you're going to be applying to. But I don't know how you're getting interviews because there's so much information here. Like my resume is probably just this entire paragraph, except in size 12 font. So it actually takes up a full page. But they put in everything. They put in, you know, all their job experiences in the last like 6 or 7 years. You know, back when they were administrator for, I don't know, like 6 months. Do they really need to know you did admin job when you have like amazing analyst experience after? You know, they have a CPA, it's hiding at the bottom of the second page, right? I need to zoom in to actually read some of these points over here. Right, so there's a lot of things that can definitely be improved about this person's experience.
The revenues part, like revenues in excess of 15.
Yeah, more numbers the better. Yeah, even if it's not really applicable, it helps you visualize the size of the business. Yeah, but I don't like the way he did it. That's a good point. You know, it's he's putting the description of the company next to the name of the company. I mean, you don't really need to do that, right? It's more readings. All right. So new people that came, we're doing a 12-second resume game. Recruiters spend 6 seconds on your resume. So we're screening resumes as if we're recruiters to actually, live through their shoes, right? So that's what we're doing right now. All right. Anyone else? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, it doesn't. But most of them should. Okay. Estimate. Yeah, they're not gonna call your old manager and tell them, did she really work with 3 employees on this 2-week project?
So, the first people mentioned that they have the new try and when is it important to mention language tools? It should be only mention it if the importance specifically.
Yeah. Because other than that, you're telling them information they don't need to know. You know, I speak Arabic and I speak French, and I'm applying to maybe French. All right, I'll take that back. French is the only job the only language you should put anyways, because it's really in demand. Okay, in the workforce. But if I speak like Arabic and I speak Urdu, I don't need to put it in my resume. Like they never need to put me on a phone call with someone from Pakistan or Egypt, right? Like they don't need to do that. Okay. All right. Let's do one more and then we'll go to the next portion. All right, 12 seconds starting now. All right. What did we learn? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Worked in logistics and did some stuff with like forklift and stuff.
okay.
Lots of stocking mentions,
Stalking?
stocking, not like that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
like putting,
small products.
Yeah. So again, it's really good because big font, easy to read, right? But there's a skills section taking up half the page. And it looks like he's targeting warehouse jobs, right? Which is good because he put in a lot of warehouse experience. But are there any numbers? It sounds like if I read this, I still can't imagine the person did the job. Completed physical inventory counts each month. Performed data entry. Manage inventory team. Manage returns. Received and handled new product. Is this person doing an office job and a manual labor job? Is he, I need more information. I need numbers to visualize. I need things like that to visualize. I'll take some questions at the end if that's okay. Because I want to get through this. We'll do, actually, this is a good resume template. All right. So this is one of the best resume templates that I got. So I'll just walk you through them. We don't need to do the 12 resume challenge. They put all their languages or a lot of languages they know, right? They did bold some of their experience. I'm not a big fan of bolding, but this person, did it anyways. But this is when it's fine to bold some specific areas to make it just jump out. But they bolded a ton of stuff. Honestly, it's a little bit over for me. Mistake they did is that they, instead of hyperlinking the normal way, they wrote the resume on a coding language called LaTeX, and it hyperlinks this way. So this is an issue. If you don't use Microsoft Word and you try to use some of that weird stuff, it comes out weird. All right. And an issue they did here is it's two different font sizes. Right. We have this is very tiny, and then the rest of the resume is big, and then this is something in between. Not really the best way to do it. Okay. The last thing, they did mention project experience, but I don't know when they did it. Did they do it in first year? Did they do it in last year? When was this done? I need to know the dates. Okay. So we'll go back to the presentation. I do have resume templates. Again, they're going to be on the last slide where you can scan a QR code to get those resume templates. Okay. All right. I'll do some math for you. All right. I want to see who here didn't fail first year calculus, because I almost did when I went to UTM. All right. If 250 people apply to a job on average and one person gets the offer, what's the probability of you getting an offer if you apply to just one job? All right. No, don't give me the fraction. Give me the percentage. That's easy. Yeah.
0.004.
All right. How'd you do that? In your head, or did you Google it?
Calculator.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So it's 0.4% that you actually get a job by applying. Like you apply to one job, you get an offer, 0.4%. Right. So again, setting expectations, you need to apply to a lot more than one job. How many jobs do you need to apply to for you to actually get an offer, inshallah? Sorry? 250. Okay. Why are you scared? It's not a trick question. Okay. Yeah. So on average, you need to apply to 250 jobs for you to actually get a single job offer. So when I was in UTM in my third year, I applied to 150 jobs for a third year internship. Out of those 150, I got 2 interviews. One of them was at Bell, another one was at Microsoft. And out of those 2 interviews, I got 0 job offers. So I ended up just going to Egypt and working for my uncle in his software company there. So it wasn't too bad for me, but I just want to set expectations. I didn't know a lot of what I know now back then in terms of writing a good resume and putting my project experience there and setting it up. So hopefully you'll be in much better grounds than me. But I just want to set expectations for you. I have friends that apply to 10 jobs and they get like 2 job offers, right? But on average, right? This is how we need to start thinking. So the best strategy to actually apply to 250 jobs is to use the shotgun technique that I have over here. Okay? Think of your resume as a shotgun. You make a really good shotgun that can fire really fast and with a good spread. And once you make the shotgun once, that's it. This is the resume that you're going to use for applying to 250 jobs. After that, you just need to, fire away. Find 250 jobs and just, shove your resumes down their throat. Really, like this is it. All right, so what do? Make a really good resume. What's next? Sorry? Apply once a week. All right, I'll go through the steps. All right, so step one, use the same resume. I'm targeting a data analyst job. All right, which is my background. I know that you need Tableau, Power BI. I make some projects on Tableau, Power BI, put some links on my resume, make the resume look really good. Done. Have a good resume, and this is the same resume I'm going to use for 250 jobs. If I see a financial analyst job, am I going to apply to the financial analyst job? No, I have a data analyst resume. Okay, this is what I want. You have to be specific. I know you still don't know what you want to do as a student. There's so many options, but try to find something and stick to it early. Okay. After that, step two, apply once a week. Finding 250 job applications isn't easy, right? So that's why it's really good to just balance it out. Every week, let's say on Wednesday at 6 p.m., open Indeed and look for jobs that match data analyst. Okay? And for the next 2 hours, open all these tabs. Next Wednesday, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to search Indeed for data analyst. This time, you're going to apply a filter that says, show me jobs in the last 7 days. Why do we do that?
Because that means less people have applied already, so.
No,
It's because you don't want to apply to the same job as already last.
exactly. You have a set time every week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. I'm applying to jobs. So next Wednesday at 6 p.m., I add this filter, only show me new jobs that have been posted in the last 7 days. This way I don't apply to the jobs I applied to the week before. All right. So that's why we apply once a week. Pick 2 hours. Don't need to drive yourself nuts and do it for like 5 or 6 hours. Just 2 hours a week. You'll probably get to like 20 or 30 jobs. All right. Do that for 10 weeks. Inshallah, you got a job. Step 3, bookmark your job searches. When I was applying, I didn't search data analyst because it just gave me too many options. There are data analysts that use SQL, data analysts that use Power BI, data analysts that use R. I was just good with Power BI. So Power BI and Tableau actually. So what I did is I bookmarked Power BI in Indeed. I bookmarked Tableau in Indeed. Okay. And Power BI is spelled 2 ways. You can either do Power space BI or Power BI just come together. So I did both. So I had 3 bookmarks. Every week I'd open these bookmarks, and they're bookmarked already on filtering jobs only in the last 7 days for those keywords. Okay. What I would do is then I'd only spend 6 seconds on the job description. I open the job description. Oh, Tableau, I see it there. They only need 6 months worth of experience, 1 year worth of experience. All right, open and apply. I only also spend the reason why I spend 6 seconds, honestly, on each job description is because they spend 6 seconds on my resume, right? I don't want to spend more time on a job description than they'll spend looking at my resume. They get an underqualified person. They're looking for someone with 5 years of experience, and I missed that because I spent 6 seconds on the resume. I don't care. I wasted their time. They were going to look at it for 6 seconds anyways. Okay. So just have that mentality. Your time is valuable, even if they don't see it. Don't waste your time on long applications. Step number 5, after you've bookmarked the different pages, open those pages once a week. So 6 p.m. I'll open my pages. I'll go down the search. Instead of applying to each job I find, just open a new tab with that job. So once you've exhausted that list, you go on the next bookmark, go to all the jobs you're interested in, open them up as bookmarks. Once you're done, you're going to have like 40 open tabs. These are the 40 jobs you're going to apply to. Just quickly apply to each one. All right. It helps me. I'm a little bit more organized, so I like doing that. If you want to apply to each one individually, that's up to you as well. So that's step number 5, which is line up, target, and shoot. Step number 6, these companies are insane. You don't get paid to apply to them. They spend 6 seconds on your resume, but they want you to send them your full resume. Your resume has your education, it has your work experience. That's not enough. After you send them your resume, they want you to fill out manually your work experience and their work experience boxes. They want you to fill out your education, the education boxes. I'm like, this is already in the resume. It's not enough. They want you to do these short questionnaires. Why do you think you'll be good for this job? Why do you think you'll like this company? That's not enough. They want you to put a cover letter. Resumes, a good resume takes like 3 or 4 days to write. A cover letter, sure, you can write it once, but each time you apply, you got to edit the cover letter's date. You have to edit the cover letter's, job. You're applying to this job in the cover letter, and you got to edit all the names of the companies in the cover letter for that company. You spend like 30 minutes at least on a cover letter, and they're not going to look at it because they look at your resume for 6 seconds. That's not enough. After you get an interview, they want you to do these long assessments. Your time is valuable. Okay, they get 250 applicants, they can get away with that. If a company asks me for a cover letter, I don't bother applying to that job. Okay, I really don't. Unless it's my dream job, then I'll actually put in some effort for the cover. But you want to apply to 250 jobs, just skip the cover letters. Step number 7, when you sit down that once a week, have a goal. I know I need to apply to 250 jobs. I applied to 10 jobs last week. I got to step up my game. I need to have a goal of 30 jobs every week. I want to have a goal of applying for 2 hours every week. Have a goal so you can hold yourself accountable. Any questions on the shotgun approach? Do you know why it's called the shotgun approach? You got to be angry when you apply. It's like going to the gym. You're punching a bag. Yeah.
Like this is like you said, like pretty much go on about what you do after that, like how this person. So when you talk about yourself, or when you still be relevant to the
Yeah, that's a good question. So my advice today is going to work 90% of the time. I'm giving you a lot of generalizations because it's going to be a situation, case by case, right? So, take my advice and see where you can apply it. If they're asking you straight up, tell us some fun facts about yourself. And I told you not to tell fun facts about yourself in the resume, but they're asking you like straight on, tell them fun facts about yourself. But don't just do it voluntarily, because 90% of the time they don't care. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Yeah. Yeah. So if I can show you. So I'll do something like this, Tableau. The reason why I like Indeed is because all the people in your generation use LinkedIn because it's really nice and colorful. Indeed is very boring. So not a lot of students actually use Indeed. So you have a better chance of getting jobs. I think all the jobs I got, alhamdulillah, were through Indeed. I didn't get a job through LinkedIn. But I still have a nice LinkedIn profile. It's important to have a nice LinkedIn profile. Okay. So for example, Tableau, date posted, right? Last 7 days. Where, sure, we can leave it as Toronto, but you can also edit within 25 kilometers of Toronto. So if you live in Mississauga, you want a job in Mississauga, you can change this to 50 kilometers or whatever. So now I have this bookmark search. I'll bookmark it, right? So it's over here. After that, I like this job. Look at it for 6 seconds. Doesn't mention 5 years work experience. I can close this one, open this next one. Just need to look for work experience, 5 years again. If I'm a young student, I'm not going to have that 3 or 5 years, 3 to 5 years, accounting analyst. So maybe I need to type new grad. So I'll put myself in the student's shoes, new grad. All right. So data analyst intern, I'm not interested in internships. All right, this one's new grad, boom. I don't even need to read it. Data analyst instructor, not interested in part-time. Remote in Vaughan, sure, just want to check experience. 1 to 2 years experience, 3 to 4, it's not good. You know, this one, yep, this one's good for me. Open a new tab. Intern, not good. Undergrad, perfect. Open a new tab. You know, you got to be quick. Globe and Mail, 12-month contract, 3 years experience, not good. Let's say this one, it's co-op. All right. Associate means fresh grad. All right, let's open it. So after I finish all the pages and I go through the second page and the third page, after I'm done all of that, you know, let's say I have all these tabs open. That's when I can apply. Okay. And this is me assuming I have one bookmark search. You're probably going to have 2 or 3. All right. Let's go back to the presentation. All right. Any other questions on this? All right. The last strategy. So we covered storytelling. We covered the shotgun approach. The last thing is networking. You know, there's a Wednesday career fair happening. It's a good chance to network. Referrals are 5 times more effective than all other means of hiring. More effective than a company coming to the university and setting up a career shop. More effective than posting a job ad on LinkedIn. More effective than this or that, right? Referrals are a really good way for you to actually get noticed. They don't give you the job based on referral, but they give you an interview based on a referral. Okay? Don't expect to get a job based on a referral, unless the person who's referring you is the person hiring. But you know, it just gives you an interview, gives you a chance to prove yourself. Benefits of a strong network is not only referrals, it's interview support. You know, you've met Muhammad today, maybe he can give you interview support. Give you some nice slides at the end of the presentation that you can use for later. Maybe they can tell you this job isn't a good fit for you. You know, you're going to go in this job and you're going to hate it for the next 6 months. Based on your personality, you're going to do a really good job in this other role or position. Healthy advice, making career decisions. Growth and learning opportunities. You know, you have a good network. So one of your friends tells you, hey, my company's doing this training. I can get you access to it. Or, hey, I'm part of this program and we certify people and you should really do the certification that's good for your field. Or, hey, this MBA school is giving good scholarships. A really healthy network doesn't only give you referrals. And don't look at people when you speak to them as, hey, I want a referral from this person. Okay? It's a little bit of a materialistic view. Look at them as a relationship. This is a relationship that I can build on. This person is going to care about my career goals. They're going to care if I do good or bad in my life. And I can go to them for support. Don't look at them as a transaction. I want to get a referral because it's 5 times more likely of getting hired. Okay? So this is a really important thing that I just want to say before we go into the next slide. And the reason is because none of my previous 3 full-time jobs were due to referrals. And it's not because I didn't try. I'm a very social person. I got dozens of referrals, just didn't work out for me. Doesn't mean that referrals aren't important. There's still, try to get a referral if you can get one, but it didn't work out for any of my jobs. Another fact, I referred 20 plus qualified candidates in the last 2 years. None of them got an interview. Referrals are still good, but it's not the end all be all. So if you don't have a referral, apply to that job anyways. Because I got all my jobs without referrals, alhamdulillah. And I referred a ton of people and none of them got interviews. Some of them were on my team too. Like positions open on my team, I referred the person, didn't get an interview. So, yeah. Any questions on referrals or networks? Yeah.
How do you go about, making those the relationship with people when people know that you're trying to get referrals from them. Because sometimes I do try to speak to someone like on LinkedIn
Yeah,
and they're talking to me because they assume that I just want a referral, so they're very dismissive, but I actually was interested in their.
got it. All right, so that's a really good question, and it takes us to this next part. All right, so career fair happening on Wednesday. I'm gonna need a volunteer. Let me grab you. What's your name?
Kobab.
Khubab. All right, come up to the front. So I'm not gonna shake your hand, just have a bad sore throat. But, walk up to me and I want you to mention nothing about jobs. Okay, just want you to get to know me. All right, so I'm at a career fair. I work at Deloitte and I'm here to meet students. All right, welcome.
Hi,
All right, nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too. What's your name?
Mohammed.
Mohammed, nice to meet you. I'm Kobab. You watched the World Cup a while back? Like,
Oh, yeah. That was a crazy World Cup. Like two African nations two African nations made it pretty far.
yeah, I can't believe Morocco got so close to like winning.
Oh my God, you're taking me back. I was sitting on that couch with my wife and we were yelling at the TV.
Oh,
And like they were so tired at the end of the game, like they just couldn't like keep playing.
so it's definitely a good start because, like, hopefully by the end, right? Like, they got this far this time. Maybe next time it's like they'll make that final push and really get it, that trophy,
100%. And the country keeps investing in the players because the players are doing good.
Mhm.
Like even like Saudi, they just won a single game or whatever.
Yeah.
But like they're throwing a ton of money at like players. They got all these
Yeah,
things.
they see they're doing well, and they're like, hey, let's put more money in this. We can actually win and get, bragging rights.
100%, 100%. So tell me about yourself and what do you do?
Second year student, comp sci. It's tough, but I make it work.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I actually went to UTM back in the day, and it's not easy.
Not easy, but it's, hey, looking back, it's like, dang, you really, it seems so impossible at the start, but then you make it through.
100%, 100%. Okay, so this was a really quick demo into networking. All right, what did Khubab do right? Huh? Not talk about jobs. Most people hate their jobs. I want to talk about anything other than jobs, especially when I have 200 students approach me, ask what I do for a job there's a line behind him. You don't see it, but there will be a line behind. Yeah.
Inspired emotional recall when you remembered the emotion of yelling at speaking.
100%, yeah, very observant. When he mentioned it, like I wasn't trying to exaggerate. That was like literally me. Like, yeah, he triggered a really good memory. I was with my family and we were like sitting on the couch and we were passionately watching that game. Right? Like it changed how I treated him for the rest of the conversation. I wanted to learn more about him. Instead of him trying to shove information down my throat, this is what I do, hire me, hire me, hire me, which is what you're all going to do on Wednesday, because you're not going to remember any of this. But, try not to do this. Yeah.
In my extension, he gives you a reason to remember him over everyone else.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it might be a referral indirectly, like you might be talking to him.
100%. If he reaches out on LinkedIn with 20 other students, this guy I talked to about FIFA. Okay. All right, you can go back. All right, I need another volunteer. Okay. All right, this time I want you to walk up and mention nothing about social life, only talk to me about my job or what you're studying. Okay. All right, so we'll give this a shot. All right.
What do you do for a living?
Oh, yeah, so I work in data analysis, so clients come to me with report transformation projects and we have to leverage different database platforms to create the best data pipeline for them. So I've used Azure data pipelines, I've used SQL Server, all to build the pipeline, and then I build reports like Power BI and Tableau at the end of it.
Why does that matter for clients? Like, it's a pipeline reporting.
Because it helps automate information. A lot of clients, they do like Excel files and they just pull Excel files every day manually. It takes up a lot of their time. So automating things really helps them and it saves them money.
But doesn't that kind of you know, suck the soul out of whatever they're doing. If everything is automated and there's no like personal factor in their job, so then.
Yeah, but it helps drive profits at the end of the day, and that's what companies care about.
You know, interestingly, in my study, like, there's like ethnographies of profit, right?
Yeah.
And I study anthropology.
Okay.
So it's like, different work environments, like ones that are very profit oriented, like all about, you know, getting the most out of every, like the person in the office. A lot of the times, there's like kind of like a prison outlook onto them, where it's like, they're not people anymore, it's just what they can input into the work environment. And generally, it's found that those people have like an overall lesser quality of life and mental health than, you know, people who have like a purpose-oriented workplace where it's like everything is for a grander goal. So how would you feel about that, you know, in your profit-oriented work?
How do I feel about being a small cog in a big corporate machine? Not too great, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah,
You want a career change?
yeah, thanks. No worries, but that's a good try, right? How I want to say, good do you think this conversation? What, huh? Make you a little bit depressed. Yes. What else? What did you learn?
I want to segue into Dawa.
Okay, you want to segue into that? That's great. What else? Yeah, yeah.
Existential crisis.
Yeah, if she reaches out to me on LinkedIn after, am I gonna really wanna connect with her?
Talk to the person who made you feel that.
Yeah, and look, you did a really good job, but we didn't make that connection,
Yes.
right? Like, I don't know much about her. I don't know about her interests. I don't know really what she's studying outside of anthropology. Anthropologist, does she use like statistics and R and things like that? Or is she just writing essays? Yeah, you can go sit down, sorry. Or is she writing essays all day and just doing that, right? I didn't learn much. So again, your objectives to networking, at least in-person networking, is not to ask for referrals, it's to make that connections and referrals will come. Okay? Or help will come. All right? Don't talk about jobs. You're not going to understand what the other person's doing anyways, because they've been working for the last 5 or 10 years and you have no work experience. It's like me trying, it's like your parents trying to describe to you how to raise kids. You know, they say you down, they tell you, look, you're going to have a kid one day, and they start talking to you for 5 minutes. Do you actually listen to them? You zone out. The same thing. Guy comes up to you, tells you, this is what I do for work, and talks to you for 5 minutes. You're going to understand very little of what the person has to say. It's not really going to help you. You want to make the connection. Yeah.
Generally, the topic of your discussion will be the dynamics on the student and like what else is important. How do you, like, I know like in our example, say when you talk about speaker, but in a networking environment, how do you do it? Because you're supposed to like talk to other people.
I see. So how do you change expectations or initial expectations? You just have to be confident, a little bit confident. I went to a networking event in McMaster 3 months ago. There were a lot of startups that work in the space industry, like satellites and stuff like that. So I went up to a lady that works with one of the startups. I was like, I heard you flew in from Alberta for this. She's like, yeah. I'm like, thanks for bringing the Alberta weather to Ontario. It's terrible outside. It's like, it's crazy. I almost missed my plane, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's the first day of snow. We started talking about the weather. Again, very, like, it's not something crazy. We're just talking about the weather. You could talk to them about, and I don't want to say this because you're all going to ask the same recruiter on Wednesday, the same question, but talk to them about parking. How was your drive? Did you manage to find a parking spot quickly? I doubt they would have. Right? Because UTM parking has been terrible for the last 10 years. Okay. They keep building more parking lots, but they keep getting more students. So it doesn't really solve the problem. So talking about something like that, don't do parking lots because everybody else in the room is going to do parking lots. Think of something interesting, something they're wearing, whatever it is, connect to them on a human level get them to open up. After they open up, be like, yeah, by the way, I know you're looking for this type of jobs. This is what I'm studying. You know, and ask them something that might take you a step forward. I would ask them. Something like, do you know the team that's actually hiring for this? I doubt they get asked that. You probably get asked, oh, am I going to be a good fit? Oh, are you looking for someone who studies this? Do you know the actual people hiring for this job? Make it about people, make it about connection. I know I'm giving you like a very high level, deep thought conversations, but it's true. Oh, I know this person. I like working with them, or oh, I don't like working with them. Try to make it conversational, not make it professional. I know it's a professional event, but at an interview, and we're not going to cover interviews here, but it's going to be in the guide, so you can read interview strategies there. At the interview, good candidates make a good impression and clearly explain why they're good at the job. Good candidates do this. Great candidates go a step further than this. They actually make connections with the hiring manager. They actually, reveal a bit about their personality. I don't want to go as far and say they become friends at the end of the interview, but there's some amicable exchange within that interview. Really quickly, I do want to mention about referrals. If you are reaching out to someone on LinkedIn, straight up ask them for a referral. If you want a referral from them, that's the only thing you want. I do all the time. I'm like, hey, John, hope you're doing well, period. Was interested in this role at your company, period. I was interested in this role in your company, I have like 3+ years doing this experience, or I know this thing. Would you be open to a referral? Very open-ended question, very short to the point. They don't want to have 15 minutes conversations just so you ask them for a referral. It takes them 2 minutes to do a referral. They lose nothing if they refer a person, unless you're like really terrible at your job. Okay, they get money. I get $2,000 every time I refer someone, and I refer 20 people. I should have been like filthy rich by now, but they don't accept my referrals for some reason.
So it's like for asking for a referral, like on LinkedIn and stuff, like get more to the point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just get it done, right? Explain why you're good. Make it like very short for them. Hey, I'd be interested in this. I have good experience. Would you be open to a referral? Don't send them resumes and cover letters. Just ask them, would you be open to a referral? Once they say yes, yeah, sure. Do you have a resume I can take a look at? Then send them the resume. Don't send them a big essay and start shoving your resumes and cover letters down their throats. Like, this is too much for me. It's becoming too stressful. Short message, to the point, open-ended question. Yes or no? Okay. But like I said, if you are reaching people just to learn, maybe tell them, hey, I'm actually interested just to learn. Try to find people that have a mutual connection. Your university professor knows this person. I reached out to people that way. Hey, I saw that this person was a prof. Did you also go to UTM, or did you have a class with them? Was interested in just grabbing a coffee chat and learn more. Because you're talking about a person they know, if it brings them good experiences, they're going to be more likely to open up to you. And you can even mention, hey, I'm not looking for a referral, just honestly looking to learn more about your job. All right, we'll get to more questions. Sorry. All right. Another thing, if you can't find a referral, there's other things you can do. Be creative. One of the ways I tried to be creative is after graduating in 2017, I did a sales job. I really hated my life. I wanted to quit every day, and I'd call my parents in Egypt telling them I want to quit. But they gave me good advice. They said, if you quit, you're not going to be able to afford your apartment. So find another job, then quit. So I kept applying, and I got an interview. I got an interview at this company called Tech Data. And I was really happy because it's the first serious interview I got. I wanted to be prepared. So I tried to find people at the company that work there that can give me an edge. And I actually found the person who left the company, and now they're looking for someone to come replace them. So I reached out to him on LinkedIn. All right. I was like, hey, I'm looking I actually have an interview for this position. I really wanted to know like what you thought about working there. I think I might be joining the same team. You know, it was a very like juicy, loaded conversations. Like, like for him, it's like, oh, I want to see this person who's going to come replace me. And we had some mutual friends. So he's like, yeah, sure, why not? So I went up, I had a phone call with him. Again, I'm not asking him for a referral. He already left the company. Went on a conversation with him for 30 minutes. He gave me really good advice about the hiring manager, about what the job actually is. And he told me, in the job description, they asked for someone who knows Access, Microsoft Access, which is a SQL database. So I was like, did you know Access? He's like, honestly, you don't need to know it. They'll just teach you on the job. So don't worry about that. Okay. So I go to the interview. I sit down with the manager. Again, I try to have a conversations with him outside the actual job. I try to show him my personality, all the stuff. The interview is going well. At the end, he's like, oh, by the way, we are looking, to hire, Access is part of the job description, and it's a program you're going to be using. Do you have any experience with writing SQL queries and things like that? I was like, honestly, I heard, I learned about it a bit in university, but I don't have any practical experience with it. So I wouldn't say I'm too strong. So, he, what is it called? He really like concentrates and thinks hard and looks at me. He's like, okay, what if I write select star from table, query or table 1 or whatever, where X, Y, and Z conditions are met. What's this query going to do? So I step back and I have no idea what this guy's talking about. What did he just say? So and I tried to read about it before the interview, but you can't learn like SQL in like a day. So I stepped back and I was like, I know that's a SQL query, but like I said, I don't have a lot of experience, but it's definitely something I want to learn, and that's why I applied to this job. I have a finance bachelor's from U of T. I really want to become more technical and learn and continue my career in this. So he was like, oh, okay, thanks for letting me know. And yeah, I appreciate that you didn't try to BS me. A lot of people try to. And his personality, I'm not sure, are you guys from China, like background wise, ethnic wise? Yeah. Okay. He left China because he was like sick of how people are BSing him over there. And I don't want to talk politics, but a lot of politics over there. Okay. So he was sick. So if anybody BS's him at work, it turns him off. He drives him crazy. He left China because of that. He immigrated to Canada because of that. We might immigrate for different reasons, more money, whatever it is. He literally left his home country just because of how much BS happens over there. So he came here, and anybody who BS's him at work, he gets flipped out. He starts slapping the keyboard and starts cursing, and it makes me laugh because it's whatever. But if I tried to BS him in that interview, I would not have a single chance of actually making it through the door. So, are referrals the most important thing? No, don't stress about not getting referrals. Make these connections, make these human connections, and be creative and be curious with how you leverage your network. All right. I do have an interview guide. So do research, frequently asked questions, use the STAR technique. There is a YouTube video in the guide that I'll be sharing that shows exactly what the STAR technique is. It's a way of answering behavioral questions so that you make the best job actually answering it. Okay. So you start with the situation. Someone asks you, tell me a time where you led a team. I don't say, yeah, I was working with 3 people and we did this project for Tableau. This person was doing SQL. I was doing the presentation, and we ended up having a really tough time, doing the presentation, but we all agreed in the end and we gave it, and I did really well in the course. this is might be, one of the ways in which you answer an interview question. The best way to do it is follow STAR: situation, task, action, result. Tell me a time where you worked on a team project. Sure, I was in third year university, which was a year ago, in my data analysis class. And one of the, so again, working on the situation, third year analysis class at the University of Toronto, if you want to go a step forward, tasks. The task at hand was we were working on a economic analysis for the recession. We had to find ways in which interest rates impacted the recession. So there was an analysis portion to it and a presentation portion to it. My job was to work on the presentation portion. The rest of the team worked on the analysis portion. As we were working on it, some challenges emerged because we weren't syncing up really well as a team. And so what happened is I finished my presentation really early, and I was still waiting for that content for the presentation from them. And it was freaking me out. So I was very frustrated and I almost lost it sometimes, but instead I took a step back and I tried to understand it from their shoes. The analysis was very hard and they needed some extra help. So instead of waiting for them and just sitting, I helped out with them and we managed to get the presentation back on track. This was the action. This is what I did. Got the presentation back on track. And then we delivered the presentation to the 20 students in our class. Again, try to use numbers, helps you visualize. At the end, we managed to get a 90% on that presentation. And I was overjoyed because I thought we were going to actually fail this thing. And I managed to maintain my 95% average in this course. Boom, right? Situation, task, action, result. A lot of numbers, really visual. I clearly explained everything, story told, right? Managed to walk you through this. I can do this now because I practiced like this question maybe 30 times and I gave it in interviews maybe another 30 times. Okay, so you have to practice. There is a video in my guide. It's really good for the STAR technique. The person does an even better job at me explaining it. Okay. Again, be yourself, be conversational. 67% of the job seekers aren't able to make eye contact. The fact that you're able to look at them and just smile and just I don't know, like put on some nice clothes before the interview. You're already ahead. Don't stress out too much. I'm setting your expectations. I'm telling you, this is the bar that you should set for yourself, but you're gonna be here. Don't expect too much of yourself. Okay, time's limited. You got school assignments, all this stuff going. All right. After the interview, send the thank you note and then reload your shotgun. Right? This was one interview. You have like another 249 jobs you need to apply to. All right. All right. I'll walk through the resume template really quickly. So I have a student resume template. Resources. All right, here we go. So I have an application guide in my Google Drive. So it says everything I said today, plus all the interview stuff that I skipped over. I also have a student resume template in the folder, recent graduate resume template in the folder. The main difference between the student resume template and the graduate resume template, honestly, you can use a lot of the same content. Student resume template, your summary, then education, and then everything else at the bottom. Recent graduate, or when you're working, you don't put education at the top anymore because your work experience matters to them more than which school you went to 5 or 6 years ago. Okay. And there's an ATS job macro. So like I said, how you're going to use this macro is you're going to open the Excel file. There's going to be a column full of little job descriptions, and there's going to be one big button. Okay. And here are the instructions. You're going to open 15 different jobs that you want to apply to that make sense for your field. You're going to load those 15 jobs, each job in a cell. It's all in the instructions. I'm just walking you through it. After you load them, you're going to click the big red button and it's going to open a new tab with a list of the keywords. Okay. You're just going to resort those keywords from most common to least common. And then that's it. You have your keywords. Pick you know, some of the most common words. You don't need all the words in your resume. It's impossible to fit all the words in your resume. Just pick, you know, the words that are repeated most often, you know, project management, communication, blah, 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 and then put them in your resume. After this, you got a good resume template, start applying. All right, this is the QR code where you can find all these files. So if you want to scan it or scan it and then send it to a group chat, you know, help yourself. I'll go over a student resume really quickly and then okay, thank you. All right, so application guide. All right, so this is the folder, as you can see, all 4 things are here. So if we open up the student resume template. All right, so Really quickly, it says the most important things, your name, summary, third year commerce student at U of T, passionate about data analysis and visualization, strong background in research using R, Python, and SQL. Okay, so sets you up for what they're looking for. Don't make the summary statement more than a sentence or a sentence and a half. Don't make it a paragraph. Don't make it a paragraph, okay? Education, put your education, your major, if you have a GPA of like 3 or 3.5, put it there. Any awards, entrance scholarships, dean's list, put them there. If you don't have a good, let's say my GPA is like a 2.5 because I'm a comp sci student. I know how it is. I did really well 2 or 3 courses. Don't put your GPA under received. Again, this is a template. Feel free to add or remove whatever you want. Received. I got A+ in calculus, or no one gets A+ in calculus. I got A+ in computer, an A in analysis, and an A in finance. When they see that, they're like, oh, this person's smart. They got 3 A's. But you're like, yeah, all my other grades are an F, but this is what you told them. It makes a first good impression, which is what you want from a resume. First good impression. After you put your summary education, next thing is work experience. So put your work experience, all this stuff. Again, I want you to notice template is very easy to read, black and white. Notice the formatting, right? It's 2 spaces and then the company name, 4 spaces and then the position. All the dates are formatted to the end. The dates are all spelled out fully, right? I don't have May to DEC for December and then underneath it June to August. If you're gonna abbreviate all. If you're gonna make them full, make them all full date names. I'll answer any questions in a sec. Again, try to use numbers. I did not do a good job using numbers here. I have like 50 projects here. That's the only number I did. I could have added more numbers. I'll fix this later. For my projects. So again, this is where you can really stand out. Talk about your projects because you probably don't have that much work experience. So projects, I did like a Tableau project, economic analysis dashboard, and this is how I put the link. I think you were asking about links. You were asking about this. Yeah, so this is how I put the link. Very simple, very straight to the point. It's blue and it's hyperlinked, so it actually stands out. And then I put in some descriptions there, and leadership experience. If you want to put volunteer experience, you can put it at the bottom. Okay. What else did I want to say? Yeah, you go to the link. The link works. You want to make sure the link works, and open it in incognito, because sometimes you accidentally have like sharing permissions that aren't open to the public. This is the link for one of the things. Okay. I spent maybe 40 hours on this project because I really wanted to go extra all the way, but this could have been 1 page. I didn't have to make it like 5 pages, and it would have taken me like 5 hours, for example. And I learned how to use the program through this project because I never used this program before. Okay. So fill your resume or with numbers. I tried to do it 3 workshops, 60 students, all this stuff. Anything else I want to mention? I think that's it. Any questions? Yeah. It honestly see what works best for you. It's a bit subjective. I don't like websites because it takes me longer to find out what the person's trying to say, because they always have a big about me page. They have a resume on their website, but I'm already looking at your resume. I'm a bit picky. I want to just go to a drive and see all this stuff, and I can go through it quickly. But again, subjective. Other people might say they like websites more. Yeah.
So like, if you like
So if you have work experience, what's not related to the person, just do not.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, this is one thing I wanted to add. So there's something called transferable skills. So I worked in, um, I worked in Popeyes for the last 6 years. What is, and during, time I was studying in university. What does that tell you? It tells me like 5 things about you already.
Excellent time management skills and like prioritization, because you can't work and work and then stuff without like being with the time.
Yeah, 100%. That's one thing, time management. Good communication, like fast food restaurants, things go crazy wrong. Are you scratching or your hand up? Okay. Yeah. Sure, yeah, work well under pressure. This person has been stressed for sure. They worked in Popeyes. Yeah. This person worked there for the last 7 years. It shows they're not going to jump around, at least a lot, If I get them, they're going to be here for 3 or 4 years. This person is more mature than his peers or her peers, right? They worked and did school at the same time. Like new generation nowadays, it's like, companies might be afraid that all they do is go on Instagram, and you give them a job, they're not going to be able to hold down a job. But this person did a part-time job for 7 years, supporting themselves financially, and did this. A couple more things you can learn from that as well. But yeah, any job experience is good job experience when you don't have any. Customer service experience is always good. When I was reviewing resumes at Deloitte, one of the questions is actually sales or customer service experience. This if a person has that, score them out of 3 points. If they have really good customer service experience, they did like 2 different jobs or whatever, give them all 3 points. So yeah. Okay, any other questions on the resume template specifically? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, again, this is generalized resume for 90% of the jobs. It's not for like arts design applications. It's not for intensive, like, I don't know, some engineering programs are very intense. It's not for like medical things where you need like all these things. But I'll answer your question. You can put it on relevant projects, or you can put a section at the bottom called publications. Okay, if you are in that field, and you do tend to look for, I know from my life science friends, it is valued. And if you co-authored and all this stuff, you can put a thing at the bottom, a section at the bottom called publications. And in your summary statement, it's hiding all the way at the bottom. They're probably not going to look at it because they only spent 7 seconds on the resume. So 3rd year life science student at U of T, passionate about X and Z, strong background in, I don't know, in something, in nuclear medicine, with 2 publications. You're giving them numbers, you're making yourself stand out, because that's the first thing they're going to read. This doesn't catch their eye, they're not going to spend more than 3 or 4 seconds on the rest of the resume. Yeah. Entrepreneurial? Yeah, put it under work experience. No. If you have good experience, put it on there, and yeah, it makes you different, right? And you bring a skill set. Again, you have to be a little bit selective about what skills you talk about. You don't want to talk about skills they don't care about. So it goes back to the role. Yeah.
And you talked about like how, like, for example, engineering, like lifestyle, like at university, of course, different, like not generalized so much. Like I guess, like for computer science students, like is there any notable changes that you may want to make to the approach that would like, or like some general approach that have been covered already?
For comp sci?
Yeah.
Yeah, comp sci, you might want to put LinkedIn profile and put GitHub profile here at the top, because I know GitHub is very important. And that's only the only thing. Maybe bold all the programming language you use. So for example, I go down here, I bold C, I bold Python, all these different languages, maybe bold them. Not a big fan of bolding, but I think in that case, especially for comp sci, they care about what language, Django, all that stuff.
So like for companies that do like automatic resume checking, is there like certain things that we need to make sure that we don't do the resume so we don't automatically fail it?
Okay,
Yes.
good question. Yeah, so sure. Ahmed, the president, actually sent me his resume a couple of days ago, and he was stuck on formatting. Okay, he wanted to make all those little spaces, but I don't know what program he's using. Didn't make spaces. So what he did is, let me not do this here. Let me. Okay. I'll show you what he did. Apologize, Ahmed, if you students pull your chain for this. Sorry, my Mac is 10 years old, so when I open Microsoft Word, it takes 30 seconds. But what he did is he couldn't make the little spaces for whatever reason. I don't know what program he's using. I think he was using LaTeX as well. He's like, it has more options. Bro, you just need Microsoft Word. He can't make spaces, so he made tiny sized. He picked the tiniest size font, so he went from size 12 to size 2. And then he just kept typing like a single letter, like A. And once he got it the appropriate width away from the margin, he then highlighted all those A's and made them white. You know? So if you're like the resume screening thing, you know, you're gonna notice a bunch of spelling errors. I don't know what they do with spelling errors. I honestly don't. And if let's say he has a communication, you know, it's gonna take that word out because it can't match communication against a communication, right? So that's one thing that I would warn of for the ATS. Don't use a JPEG when you apply. Use PDF. Always use PDF. ATS systems, I doubt they do like reverse image, whatchamacallit, and grab the text out of the image. Don't use Microsoft Word because Microsoft Word documents open differently on different computers. But PDF will always open the same format on different computers. Okay, I think that's covers it. Yes. No worries.
It's just two big questions. And the others, you said that usually we don't, not anymore.
Because they know you're a student and they want to know what you're doing as a student. So that's why they ask for the student portion, the education portion to be at the top. Exactly. Yeah.
And the second mini question. How formal is informal? Like, can I use emoji or is that a
Like over LinkedIn. Yeah, use emojis, but don't like keep like to a smiley face. Don't do like smiley heart, you know, and all this stuff. Unless they have your personality. Okay, I don't think there's many people that are socially outgoing as you, but if they are, go ahead. They will love that, but don't change who you are, but just adapt to the situation. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, say that again. Yeah. Yeah. So do you know the companies are going to the fair? Okay. Did any of them stick out? Okay, try to tailor it a bit before you go. I know this is so hard for students because you will take any job that comes your way, right? Like you don't care what you're gonna do as long as there's a job, you'll do it. But you still have to do some sort of tailoring so that when you talk to someone, they're like, oh yeah, like you'll be good for this. You know, I'm taking a look at the resume, you'll be good. You can make a general resume, but when you walk up to them, tailor your speech to them. You know, you make a good job resume for someone who does like administrative work and tell them, oh yeah, you know, I'd love to that communication assistant opening. Oh yeah, I'd love this project management opening. Oh, and this and that, and give them share some experiences about that outside the resume, but you have to do some tailoring one way or another. Okay. Anyone else? I'll come back to you if there's no other questions. Question? No? Okay. All right. One more, sorry. Yeah.
They care about that. I don't know, I don't think it's 2 years ago, I feel like 2 years ago. Do they have anything to do that?
You can use the same cover letter. Honestly, I was so worried because some people told me when I was applying, don't apply to more than one job at a company because they are going to see that you're applying to multiple teams and they don't know what you're looking for. But when I joined Deloitte, which is a really big company, if you apply to one department, the other department has no idea that you even applied. Like their systems don't talk to each other. As a recruiter, like it's very hard for me to find out. I wouldn't worry too much about that. You know, just change the date at the top of the cover letter. Any other questions? All right.
And this is, okay, it sounds kind of dumb, but if we're gonna go to a fair or like a big network, like an event that has a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think from like, I don't know, it's not, I don't want, I shouldn't have any part of us. But what if, for example, say a tailored version of the recipe out for whatever company step, whatever event. Would it be a good idea to just have a copy before?
For resumes?
Yeah, like, be like, here's my resume.
Yeah, I think for job fairs, it's expected to do that. So I'd say, yeah, print resumes. I doubt they'll actually look at it, but again, it depends. One of my friends, he does recruiting, but for the MMPA program at UTM. It's like the accounting MBA program. And they get business cards, and at the end, they share the business cards of students that stood out to the recruiter, to the main recruiter. So for them, it's different, but for students, bring them just in case. But I think most of them, they're just gonna want you to apply online because it's how it's done nowadays. You know what I mean? But I think I think it's expected for job fairs to get print resumes. But
So it's like, what should we like on Wednesday we have the career fair, what should we like, we have like our friend club is in our resumes, what else should we like, dress nice, what else, or decently enough,
yeah,
like what else should we like do?
yeah. So think out loud. I have. Is there a marker?
Yeah, it's not a whiteboard.
That's not whiteboard. You sure?
It's just a wall.
Okay. Okay. So I have two students that walk up to me. One of them is dressed in a very nice suit, has a bunch of resumes, has a little bag, and is giving me their resume and talking to me about work and trying to get my business card. Another student, they're just walking up all casual and they don't have a resume, they're just empty-handed. Feels a bit awkward, you know, them coming empty-handed like this, right? Maybe look the part a bit. Don't overdo it a lot. Like don't come in a suit and a nice bag and all this stuff. But like, you know, come wearing, come like dressed appropriately. Have like, I guess, some resumes, and have objectives. What should your objectives be for this career fair? Yeah.
I guess one objective would be like to connect with people, like see like. But also other than that, like I guess learn and I see like, okay, what are people looking for? Like my resume of snuff and stuff.
Yeah.
And see like what really other like there may be some opportunities that you were not aware of that now the career fair is like they unknown things like that.
100%. Yeah. So you want to make the human connection. That's the most important thing. All right. Because that's the only difference between you going to the job fair and you just applying online. Difference is there's a human in front of you. Make the connection. Number two is your objective should be to get insider information about the job. You know, what's this manager looking for? Do you know the manager? You know, blah, blah, blah. Try to get some insider information. Maybe they tell you the name, you can reach out to them on LinkedIn. Figure out something, more information about them, and take notes because you're going to be talking to a lot of people. So every booth, after every booth you'd walk up to, I'd open my notes app on my phone. I type, McDonald's corporate office. Recruiter's name is Jamie. Looking for XYZ or whatever I can remember after the conversation. Okay, so we have some sort of filing system. Take their name down because you're going to want to reach that person after on LinkedIn, make the connection, and if appropriate, reach out to them about something. You don't need to reach out to everyone, but if appropriate, if it makes sense, hey, we met, you mentioned this manager, can I reach out to them, or something like that. Can you make the connection? If they don't reply to you, just reach out to the manager anyways if you know their name. Okay? Be like, hey, I was talking to this person about the career fair and they mentioned your name. Even though they ignored you and didn't want you to reach out to them, reach out to them anyways. Okay? Because you have nothing to lose. Okay? Again, goal is numbers. All right, inshallah, after this, you have a good resume template. The goal is 250 job applications. All right? This one, yeah. Yeah.
So how many like that personal experience, how many did you apply?
Yeah, so when I was in third year, I applied to 150